Hi.
Hi.
How are y'all doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. Look who's here with us.
Hi.
Guest Chef D, and it's our 300th video.
No way.
It is
I
really
did not
cool.
know that.
I think I told her.
She told me and I forgot. But I'm here because it's Kaitlin's birthday tomorrow.
Although
Tomorrow's your birthday.
Although this is getting aired a couple weeks later.
It doesn't matter. That's why I'm here, and we're making a birthday cake for Kaitlin.
We are.
Because she loves it. She had it on her 30th, and now she's 35.
Do you want to know how old Guest Chef D is?
I just turned 62. I can collect Social Security now. There, you have it.
The things we get proud of. Anyway, the cake we're making is a chocolate cake with peanut butter buttercream frosting and a chocolate ganache on the top.
And the chocolate cake is actually a vegan cake.
It's true.
There are no eggs, no animal
But the
products.
frosting is not vegan, nor is the ganache. Milk.
Correct, because there's milk. Yeah.
But the cake itself.
So if you like this and you have a vegan friend or you're vegan, this is a perfect cake. It's really
You just need
moist.
a different frosting.
Yeah, or no frosting at all.
Well, that's just sad.
No.
That's just sad. All right, anyway, let's get to it. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Kaitlin. That's me. Enjoy. All right, Guest Chef D is kind of taking the reins on this since she knows it so well because she makes it for me. So what are we starting with?
So this is 2 cups of all-purpose flour.
So 2 cups of flour.
2/3 cup cocoa powder.
2/3 cup cocoa powder. Obviously, this will all be below.
Why are you repeating that?
I don't know, in case the mic doesn't. I guess the mic gets it, or you can have the mic.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't have the mic already.
Okay.
Okay. 1.5 teaspoon baking soda. Which one's the soda? This.
That's the orange one's the soda.
What does that say? 1 teaspoon.
Teaspoon. The eyes are going now, Emma.
Yeah, well, better than the heart.
It's true.
Although that's going, I'm sure. I'll say 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. I always double check between soda and powder because they have different functions. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So those are the dry ingredients. We're going to mix those together, and then we'll be back in a second for the wet ingredients.
So yeah, so we'll whisk them up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and a pinch of salt. Here's the salt.
Yeah. Pinch.
And salt just helps, even though it's a sweet.
We've actually talked about this a lot, how salt really helps enhance the chocolate flavor.
Right, it brings out the flavor.
Include it with your chocolate dishes.
Right. All right.
She's got the oven preheating to 350.
And the pans are 2 8-inch round pans, but we sprayed them with Pam, and then we put cocoa in it.
Dusted it with cocoa.
We dusted it with cocoa.
All right. So we're going to set this to the side. We'll be back when it's time to get we've got all the wet stuff ready. All right, time for the wet ingredients.
All right, so we are going to mix, wait a second, I'm looking on my instructions. Mix the oil and sugar. So it is 2 cups of sugar.
1.5 cups.
1.5 cups of sugar, I'm sorry. And then it's 2/3 cup of canola oil. And we just use regular vegetable oil. So we're going to mix that a little bit. And then we stir in 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
It's a nice sweet cake.
My sous chef will get rid of all this for us. So mix that in a little bit. It looks kind of like a slushy. So, and now we're going to pour in 2 cups of buttermilk, and since it already comes in 16 ounces, we don't have to measure it out.
It's helpful like that.
It is. So this is what makes it so rich, is the buttermilk.
How can it be vegan if it's got buttermilk in it?
Because, oh, well, that's a good idea. I thought it was vegan.
I don't think so.
Well, so it must not be vegan.
We were wrong.
Maybe, you know, maybe it's just vegetarian. I don't know. It wouldn't be vegetarian. Yeah. It was something. But yeah, if it's buttermilk, it comes from a cow. Yeah, it can't be vegan. Oh well, a disclaimer. Sorry. I'm remembering incorrectly.
It's all good.
So the instructions actually say to mix the dry and wet ingredients into yet another bowl, starting with the dry ingredients, alternating, and ending with the dry ingredients. I did that the first time I made it, but I don't anymore. I just mix them separately and then mix them together in one bowl. I just mix a little in at a time, mix it all together. Thank you. Thanks. And it doesn't make a whole lot of batter, it doesn't look like. But then it'll rise some in the pans. Okay, we're going to put it in the pan.
Before it drops on the counter, of course.
Well, sure. And it's a really rich chocolatey taste. I need the other one next to it so I can see how much I'm putting in there. Sorry, that's okay. I think this is a 9-inch pan.
I do not know.
Yeah, I think these are mismatched a little bit. Not sure.
It'll work out.
It'll go on the bottom. Oh, shoot. It's kind of like,
Get it in the damn thing.
it's kind of like the bread and the mayonnaise.
Maybe I should have spoon stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've baked. Since I'm in the high altitude and don't know how to.
Yeah.
it's kind of between this hood and the computer is a little confining.
How long do we bake them for?
I don't know. What's it say?
20 minutes.
Huh?
20 minutes.
I'm sure it'll be longer than that.
Well, we start with 20 minutes.
Yeah. Of course, the fact that it doesn't have eggs in it is the main reason it doesn't have to cook so long, I think.
I bet that's why you thought it was vegan.
Yeah, but I thought I read that it was. I don't know.
Maybe there was something you could have substituted the buttermilk for to make it totally vegan.
Maybe that's what it was, like applesauce or something. I need a paper towel. Thank you. Is it recording?
Yeah.
I'm having a really messy day. I had a problem putting mayonnaise on a piece of bread earlier. Just the bread flipped right off, so.
I definitely should have poured, but that's okay. We live and we learn.
I need another towel, please.
This one's not really that. I'm trying to hand you this one, Abby.
Oh, sorry. No, you got to pound it.
Okay.
All right. I need a couple. I need to put this rack down. Pot holders, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. Oh, there's no oven light.
Oh yeah, it went out a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
Yep, it's on our list to replace.
Can you hand me that pan, please?
Probably. Alright, we'll check back when it's time to take them out. Evan and Dee is gonna test them.
I've already taken them out once and put them in for 5 more minutes because they were a little liquidy in the middle.
And we don't want that. But that's clean. As is that.
I
All
think
right,
that's
they are
good.
ready. We'll
All
check
right.
back after they've cooled and we'll make the frosting and all. You're on.
Hi, so we're back. The cake has cooled and now we're making the peanut butter buttercream frosting.
This is the most decadent peanut butter frosting.
And
So good.
and then after that, it doesn't dry. After that sets,
Then the ganache.
then we make chocolate ganache and pour over it. So yeah, I mean, basically you need a defibrillator near you if you're going to eat this cake.
What you need is people to share it with, and it's not hard to find them once you tell them you've got chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting and chocolate ganache topping it off. They line up.
So here's the peanut butter frosting. It's 1 cup of softened butter, unsalted, which is 2 sticks, and then a cup of creamy peanut butter, and you're going to add that together, and we're going to mix it, all of that together first.
Yum.
And you know, peanut butter, it takes forever to get it out of anything.
But it's so tasty,
That's when,
so we don't care.
this is when you need like a half spatula.
I have a little one.
Do you? I did not know that.
Where have you been other than Albuquerque?
Finally in my own house, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Making the two of y'all happy. I know. I don't blame you.
That's what we like when you visit.
So it was raining here today, and I was very happy because we don't get much rain in Albuquerque. So I was smiling, even though other people were like, it's raining again.
It's because it's been like a week for us, so our sinuses are like, please Please stop.
Oh, well, yeah, my sinuses are whacked out. It's because I'm here in the humidity and we don't have humidity back there, but c'est la vie. All right, so we're going to cream this. You want to get it all mixed in together so it's all.
And she'll tilt it up so you can see.
Yeah.
Just a smidge. There you go.
You can get all the butter mixed in with the peanut butter.
Maybe I'll prop you guys.
Because, well, you're not mixing. You could actually hold it.
I could. But, you know, sometimes you need me to do things.
Let me, okay, kind of.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Because, yeah, you want this as creamy as you can get it and as well mixed as you can get it, because then when you add the powdered sugar in, you don't want it to get all clumpy. So.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've made buttercream, and we've never made peanut butter buttercream.
Together.
Well, I meant on this show.
Oh, yeah.
And yet together, I don't know that I've made peanut butter buttercream before. But yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
When? For what occasion?
I had that box of banana cake mix, and I wanted to make my own version of that cupcake I like.
Oh, yeah. That's when you would have, it'd been good for you to know how to make ganache, because that ganache goes on there too. All right, so now we have 3 cups of powdered sugar. Some people call it confectioner's sugar. And you add a little bit at a time, about 1/3 cup at a time, because you, so I'm gonna, it's settled a little bit, so I'm just breaking it up a little bit. And you want it at a little bit of a low speed, otherwise you'll be
fly everywhere.
You'll be breathing powdered sugar. Not like any other white powder. You just be powdered sugar.
But it'll look like it's recently snowed on you.
Yeah. You don't want it to get real crystallized. That's and part of why you put it in a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you blend.
Yeah, blend.
And if any of y'all know that reference, please write into Kaitlin's show.
There you go. Comment.
Yeah, you blend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, blend.
Such a good movie. We have to watch it.
Is it pretend you're a deer or imagine you're a deer?
What?
When she starts off, imagine you're a deer.
You're a what?
A deer.
A deer. And then bam!
Do you really care what the pants look like?
I completely forgot that scene. Oh my God, there are so many. We have to watch that again. That's a good one.
That's a classic.
It is. Oh my God, and people love that movie.
Oh, yeah. Who would?
The 2 Utes. What's a Ute? We are completely off script now, everybody.
That's right. But she's done the last of the powdered sugar in there. And look how yummy it is.
Well, now it looks kind of like what you would make fudge out of, but there are other things we're about to add to it.
As is the case with any buttercream. Oh, but that smell. There is usually leftover of this, and I just have always got to have it even when she wasn't like staying with us or living with us.
Well, and the thing is, Kaitlin still has some homemade chocolate ice cream in the freezer, so
From Chocolate Week.
I have a feeling that some of this is going to go on top of that tonight.
Ooh. Well, now you're cooking with gas.
Hey, I am the idea person.
You are.
I'm not always the executioner, but I'm the idea person. Like Billy Blaze.
Yeah.
And if y'all know that reference, please write into the show. They're going to be going, what? Write in? What show?
Comment on the video.
Comment on the video. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's just.
Just set it down. It's okay.
All right, so I'm checking the recipe. I'm sorry.
Just gonna
So,
give it a slight taste test to see how it is at this point.
so 1 teaspoon vanilla and a half a teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, half a teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon vanilla. And you know, it says stir in, but I just use the mixer for everything.
Same.
You
I
know,
want
it's
that consistency to be right.
there's sous chef.
Thanks.
And a half teaspoon of salt because we know salt adds flavor and helps keep
And
things.
the right amount.
Yes.
You don't overdo it.
So we're going to mix that in. And right now you can tell it's a little thick to spread, but we're going to add milk in a minute, and that's going to help the spreadability of it.
Good word.
Yeah. See that nice?
Fluffy. Creamy and fluffy.
All right. So it says to add 2 tablespoons of milk, and with the mixer on low speed, add the milk, stir until well combined, gradually increase speed to high. So you start off on a low speed and gradually come up to high and beat it for 30 seconds after it's on high. This is because the low speed is to mix the milk in, and then the high speed is to make it fluffier so it's a prettier and you know, icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I know, old school. I shake the milk.
Ooh,
Well, I think
like
that's.
2 tablespoons right there.
I think so. So
We have extra powdered sugar if all else fails.
yes, it came out kind of fast.
You had just tossed it all around.
Well, that's not why it came out fast.
If you think so.
I know so,
Okay.
but I think that was probably 2 tablespoons. I don't think it was more than 2 tablespoons.
If it was only by a little bit.
Yes. So we're going to gradually bring it up to high, doing a little medium right now.
Mixing it up.
Mixing it, getting a little fluffier all the time with each speed. And it's still thick enough. You can tell the consistency. It's getting creamy, but it's not runny.
And that's the goal.
That's the goal. And so you see, even somebody that has been baking for over 50 years still make a little slip up now and then, but you just know how to correct it, that's all.
And we go with Mima's rule at all times. As long as it tastes good, no one will care.
Yeah. Of course, you can't have your layers sliding off of each other.
Also true.
And that's what happens if your icing's not thick enough. All right, we're going up to high speed for 30 seconds. right, so we're going to test it and see. All right, so that's spreadable. That's not too thin.
Because if it fell right off, it would be too thin.
It would be.
You need to add more powdered sugar in that moment.
Right. All right, so.
But then the real crucial test, the taste test. It's a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner. So now we're going to ice the cake. Do you have them watch you do that, or?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want to take the.
All right.
So you have a spreader now, I see.
I did. I treated myself.
You deserved it. You need to get it ready for me, please.
Prep that.
All right, so we're putting on the icing. And usually you do kind of a thin, what we call a crumb layer. And that's a very thin, because, as you're spreading, you'll get crumbs in it. So you do that. And then when that's a little settled, then you just put on the layer that's the pretty layer, because then it won't have crumbs in it.
So we'll check back after she's finished with the crumb layers. All right, the crumb layer is done. Time for the final layer of frosting. Before we let it set, we'll wind up letting it set overnight, just because of the time we're doing this. And then we'll do the ganache.
Yes, and I realized after I started this, it didn't really matter if we had a crumb layer, because the ganache will probably hide any crumbs, but live and learn.
It's true. Still always good to practice.
Yes, and I don't get to make cakes very much anymore. I don't really have a need to bake them, and I'm at a high altitude. I haven't really learned how to adjust my baking, so some of the loaf cakes I've made back in Albuquerque they were a little tough on the outside, so.
One of my viewers for sure is in Albuquerque. If you happen to do baking out there, if you have any tips for my mom, feel free to leave them as a comment, 'cause she'll read them.
Just letting it go. Icing has never been one of my best skills, especially years ago when I didn't know about making a crumb layer, and I would just keep piling on more and more icing, just trying to hide the mistakes. And
I wonder if that explains why I like frosting so much more than I like cake.
I have no
I
idea.
like cake fine, but I'm always like, it's all about the frosting for me. Maybe it's from growing up with cakes like that.
Maybe, I don't know. But, until I started watching these cooking and baking shows, I had no clue, because my mother didn't do a crumb layer. So I don't know how she was able to make them so well. She just did. That's
just me, Mom.
That generation. So.
Yeah, she really did. Any other cakes I can think of that she made, you never saw crumbs in them.
Mm-mm.
She just did.
Of course, she didn't make white icing. She rarely iced a chocolate cake with white icing for that very reason. So she
wouldn't know if she had
no. And the other cakes,
wily woman.
yeah. Is it about to come off?
Making sure they can see what you're doing.
How
It's
about?
almost totally unbelievable. It's like, just look at the bowl that he's dipping into.
I thought maybe it was coming off the counter. It was going to be on the floor in a minute.
I'd have to knock a lot of things to hit that point. It's just like, maybe they'd like to see the cake.
Well, you have to work on that end because I'm concentrating on getting the.
That's why I did. That's why I moved.
I think it's okay.
Especially because we're going to top it with ganache.
Mm-hmm. So here's our cake.
We'll put ganache on it after because you want the buttercream to be fully set, otherwise ganache will melt it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll just be kind of a pool.
Hi. So now we are finishing off the cake. It's cooled and it's the icing has set. So now we're making the chocolate ganache. It's 9 ounces of chopped bittersweet chocolate. We just got the
Bittersweet chocolate chips.
chips, and a cup of heavy whipping cream, and we're going to bring it just to a boil, not boiling, but just when a boil starts, and then we will pour that over the chocolate, and that will melt the chocolate, and we let it cool just a little bit and then pour it over the cake.
Alrighty. So let that get set up, and then oh yeah, that's probably a better one. So we'll cut back after she has boiled the cream and is mixing it with this chocolate here.
So you want to keep the heat either at low, between low and medium low, and you want to whisk it while it's on this stove because you don't want it to scald and stick. And then you pour it over the chocolate in whatever form you've done, either chips or chopped, and then that's going to melt the chocolate, and you just whisk it until it's all melted. And if you prefer, dark chocolate or milk chocolate as opposed to bittersweet, it's just whatever your preference is. Or, this is just the basic recipe for ganache, whether you use white chocolate or caramel or whatever, peanut butter. Butterscotch, yeah.
Lime.
Lavender, just whatever. So you see how that has melted, just the hot, heavy cream being poured over it. So we're going to let it sit just a few seconds to cool off a little bit. And then we're going to pour it over the cake. Now we have parchment under our cake because I know it's going to spill off of the plate. So do you want to just come back? Yeah.
All right, we'll pause you. We'll be back after it's cooled for a little bit.
All right, it just took a few seconds to cool off.
You should be able to touch it and it's still warm but not burning you.
Right, and then just however much you want to put on there, however you want to put it on there. Do you want to?
Let me get this
thing and
spread it around.
Yeah, because this didn't get as liquidy as I'm used to, but
it'll work.
Yeah, and you just kind of glide it over to the edge, and there you have it.
Let it drip on down.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a topping, it's not necessarily an icing, so you don't.
You're just kind of letting it drizzle down, but you want it to be a little even. You don't want to be like all on one spot, not on other spots.
I think that's enough.
How long does it take for the ganache to kind of an essence set?
Well, I would let it sit. I would let it sit out probably for about 10 minutes and then put it in the fridge, and that will make it harder.
Which is what you want.
Okay.
Okay.
But ganaches can make for a pretty cake, and it makes it a little fancier, so you impress your friends.
Yeah.
So
you get some fun drizzles going.
There you go.
I think they're good because they'll kind of keep weighting themselves
Yeah.
down.
So that's good.
Yeah. that is it. Bon appetit. Happy 300th video.
Yay!